my name is Anna Gibbs, and I'm doing my informational speech on how to prepare for a lockdown. Hello everyone, welcome to 2020, where all of our hopes and dreams were slowly crushed by a global pandemic. Most of us have been practicing self-isolation and social distancing for the past few weeks, which just means we have a reason to stay home and do nothing all day. But on a serious note, we're starting to see entire cities and countries go on lockdown to prevent the spread of the recent COVID-19 virus. Schools, businesses, and attractions like Disney World have all closed their doors indefinitely. Many of us have been temporarily laid off from work and don't know what to do with ourselves, myself included. This brings me to the purpose of my speech. I would like to talk about what happens during a lockdown and how to prepare. I will go over what supplies are needed, things to do, and why it's important to be prepared. What is a lockdown? A lockdown can either be mandatory or self-imposed. It basically means you're confined to your home and can only leave for what is considered essential. This only includes going to the grocery store, doctor's appointments, and work. There are also instances of mandatory curfews issued, as in you must stay inside from a certain time at night until morning. You will also practice social distancing, which means staying away from anyone and everyone or keeping a safe distance when in public spaces. In the article Preparing for Coronavirus Quarantine, health expert Jennifer Anopa states, "Another reason you might be quarantined is if there are enough cases in your community that the health agency feels is in the public interest for everyone to stay home. This type of quarantine is to protect you from contracting the virus from someone out in the community. This type of quarantine would likely last longer than 14 days until the health authority felt confident that the spread of the virus had been contained. We have no way of knowing how long an epidemic will last, but as Anopa states, it's safe to assume you're going to be on lockdown for a minimum of 2 weeks. When it comes to preparation, Anopa further suggests a quarantine will likely last somewhere between 14 to 28 days. Second, it is unlikely that utilities or public water will be impacted. This means that you could potentially need extra food, but that you will still have potable water to drink and cook with. That being said, it is important to know how to prepare for the event of a worst case scenario, in which you'll be stuck in your house for a long period of time. With this in mind, let's go over what supplies are needed during the event of a lockdown. You want to have enough food and supplies to last for at least a month period. This includes water, non-perishable items, affordable basic foods, and sanitary items. According to the American Public Health Association, the rule of thumb for stocking up on water is 1 gallon per person per day. Consider investing in a water filter as well. Non-perishable items can include canned food, such as fruits, vegetables, etc. More cans, the better. Canned food typically has a 2 to 5 year shelf life. Freeze-dried foods, however, last up to 30 years. Frozen dinners and meals are also great because they're ready to make and you're going to be cooking a lot. And finally, meat that can be frozen or canned. Fun fact, the point of canned foods originally was to make it through the dry or drought season until you could grow your own food again. On to basic dry foods. Buy dry foods in bulk, if possible, to save money. Dry foods are like pasta, beans, crackers, cereal, powdered milk, cooking oil, salt, pepper, and spices. And don't forget about your furry friends. Your pets are in quarantine with you as well, so make sure you get supplies for them too. And finally, sanitary items. Cleaning products, gloves, toiletries, hygiene, feminine products. You want to wipe down everything once a day, including things you touch the most, such as door handles, sinks, your phone, etc. Now that you're all stocked up on supplies, you can focus on all those things you've been ignoring. Being in isolation means you'll have plenty of free time. With all this free time, you can practice self-care, catch up with family, and more. You can also use this time to plan out meals in order to prevent running out of groceries. For self-care, do that face mask, have a spa day, start a new project. Catch up on your favorite shows with Netflix, Hulu, listen to new music. A lot of artists are live streaming right now for your entertainment. There's also arts and crafts and family bonding. Being home means a lot more family time. You can play board games, group activities, catch up with long-distance family over FaceTime, and make phone calls. These are just a few of the things you can do to pass the time during isolation. It's a great time to be creative and work on self-improvement or complete random tasks. I'm sure you'll find plenty of ways to get by, but it's not all fun and games. It's important to be prepared. It's impossible to know when a mandatory lockdown will begin or end. Within days, even hours, entire countries and cities were affected by the coronavirus pandemic to the point where schools, restaurants, and public places were closed indefinitely. As a result, many people lost their jobs, income, and childcare options and were forced to stay home. It would be extremely stressful to wait last minute to do emergency grocery shopping, especially if you have no idea what to buy. People go into panic in these kind of situations and store shelves quickly go empty, starting with essential items like water and toilet paper. If you're focused more on preparation, you will be less concerned with the initial shock of a lockdown and avoid confusion. So ultimately, you're doing yourself a favor by having everything you need in order to avoid making multiple trips to the store, thus putting yourself and everyone around you at risk. I hope this information was somewhat useful. We went over ways to prepare for a lockdown, what supplies are needed, and ways to pass the time during social isolation. Not only are these good things to know for the current coronavirus situation, but this kind of preparation can also be useful for any kind of apocalyptic scenario, zombie outbreaks, natural disasters, and hurricane season, especially since we all live in Florida. Remember, it's always good to be prepared, and once you know the basics, it can be an experience that is kind of fun and much less stressful. Happy social distancing, and good luck, everyone.